The deceptive first contact. The morning sky over New York City shimmered with an unnatural light, drawing millions of eyes upward. A massive ship, sleek and otherworldly, hovered silently above the skyline. Similar scenes unfolded simultaneously in Beijing, London, Moscow, and a dozen other major cities across the globe. Humanity's first contact with alien life had arrived, and it came not with the bang of an invasion, but with the quiet hum of advanced technology. As panic began to ripple through the streets, screens worldwide flickered to life with a unified broadcast. A figure appeared, distinctly alien yet possessing an air of regal charm. Its iridescent scales gleamed under soft lighting, and multiple eyes blinked in sequence, creating an almost hypnotic effect. People of Earth, the alien's voice resonated in perfect English, then seamlessly shifted through Mandarin, Hindi, and other major languages. I am Emperor Zax Thor of the Galactic Concordat. We come in peace and with open hands. The Emperor's mandibles clicked in what seemed to be a smile. For eons, we have watched your civilization grow. Today, we extend an invitation to join our intergalactic community. World leaders scrambled to formulate responses, but Zax Thor continued his charm offensive. He spoke of advanced medical treatments that could cure Earth's deadliest diseases, clean energy technologies to reverse climate change, and faster-than-light travel to explore the cosmos. All this and more, Zax Thor proclaimed, we offer freely to our new friends on Earth. We ask only for your trust and allegiance to the Concordat. As diplomatic channels buzzed with activity, Dr. Evelyn Roth sat alone in her cluttered apartment, eyes narrowed at the television screen. The brilliant astrophysicist whose unorthodox theories had made her a pariah in academic circles, Evelyn couldn't shake a sense of unease. "It's too perfect," she muttered, fingers flying over her keyboard, as she cross-referenced Zax Thor's claims with her own research. No advanced civilization would give away technology for nothing. What's the catch? But her skepticism found no purchase in a world swept up in alien fever. Streets filled with celebrations, and social media exploded with excitement. Hashtags like #WelcomeAliens and #Galacticera trended globally. In Washington, D.C., President Ileana Morrison stood before a joint session of Congress, her voice steady despite the historic weight of the moment. "Today, we stand on the precipice of a new era for humanity," she declared. "The hand of friendship extended by Emperor Zax Thor represents an unprecedented opportunity. We must approach this with both optimism and caution." Across the Pacific, Chinese President Wei Liang echoed similar sentiments in a televised address from Beijing. "China welcomes this chance for galactic cooperation," he stated, his eyes gleaming with the possibilities. "We will work closely with our global partners to ensure Earth's interests are protected as we step onto the cosmic stage." As world leaders debated the path forward, Zax Thor's emissaries began arriving on Earth. They set up cultural exchange centers in major cities, offering glimpses of alien art, music, and technology. Humans flocked to these centers, marveling at holographic displays and sampling synthesized alien cuisines. Dr. Roth, however, remained unconvinced. She pored over grainy satellite images and electromagnetic readings, searching for inconsistencies in the alien story. Her apartment walls became a conspiracy theorist's dream, covered in star charts, alien language translations, and blurry photographs connected by red string. "The energy output from their ships," she muttered, circling figures on a whiteboard. "It's exponentially higher than needed for propulsion and life support. What are they hiding?" Her concerns fell on deaf ears. Former colleagues dismissed her theories as the ravings of a washed-up academic desperate for attention. Even her own sister, Sarah, a junior diplomat now working with the alien delegation, urged her to embrace the new reality. "Evelyn, please," Sarah pleaded during a tense video call. "This is the greatest moment in human history. Don't isolate yourself with these paranoid delusions." But Evelyn couldn't let it go. She noticed subtle patterns in Zax Thor's speeches, hints of condescension masked by flowery language. And there were the unexplained atmospheric disturbances, too regular to be natural, too dispersed to be from the visible alien ships. 3 weeks into the alien visitation, Zaxthor announced a global symposium to be held at the United Nations headquarters. "The time has come," he proclaimed, "to formalize Earth's entry into the Galactic Concordat." As representatives from every nation prepared to attend, Evelyn made a desperate move. She reached out to an old friend, Captain Marcus Rodriguez of the NYPD, who owed her a favor from years back. "I need access to the UN building during the symposium," she explained, her voice low and urgent. "There's something not right about these aliens, Marcus. I can prove it, but I need to get close to their technology." Rodriguez hesitated, weighing years of friendship against the potential consequences. "You've got 2 hours, he finally said. "I'll get you in as part of the security detail." "But Evelyn, if you're wrong about this." "I'm not," she assured him, hoping she sounded more confident than she felt. The day of the symposium arrived with great fanfare. Alien ships performed aerial displays over New York Harbor, trailing iridescent contrails that spelled out messages of peace and unity in dozens of languages. Inside the UN, delegates mingled with alien representatives, marveling at their advanced translators and holographic name tags. Evelyn, dressed in a borrowed police uniform, slipped through the crowded halls. Her hand-built scanner, disguised as a standard-issue radio, beeped softly as she approached the alien delegation's private rooms. "Come on, give me something," she whispered, adjusting the scanner's frequency. Suddenly, the device chirped loudly, displaying a complex energy signature. Evelyn's eyes widened. "Gotcha." She ducked into an empty conference room, quickly connecting her scanner to a laptop. Lines of code scrolled across the screen as she worked to decrypt the alien transmission. Her heart raced, knowing that each passing second increased her chances of discovery. Finally, the encryption cracked. Evelyn stared at the translated message, her worst fears confirmed. The aliens weren't here to help. They were assessing Earth's defenses, cataloging resources, and preparing for a full-scale invasion. Just then, the door opened. Evelyn spun around, coming face to face with her sister Sarah and one of Zaxthor's advisors. "Evelyn, what are you doing here?" Sarah asked, confusion turning to realization as she saw the uniform and equipment. The alien's eyes narrowed, mandibles clicking rapidly. "Security breach," it hissed into a communication device. "Sublevel 3. Evelyn grabbed her laptop, shouldering past her stunned sister. "Sarah, listen to me. They're lying. This is all a trick. They're planning to invade." Alarms began to blare throughout the building. Evelyn ran, her mind racing to formulate a plan. She had the evidence, but how could she expose the truth to a world so enamored with their new alien friends? As she burst into the main assembly hall, she saw Zaxthor on the central platform, his image projected on massive screens. The Emperor was midway through his address, speaking of a bright, shared future. Evelyn's eyes locked onto the broadcast equipment. It was a long shot, but it was the only chance to reveal the aliens' true intentions to the world. Taking a deep breath, she sprinted toward the stage, praying she could reach the controls before security, human or alien, reached her. Part 2. The Mask Slits. Chaos erupted in the UN Assembly Hall as Dr. Evelyn Roth sprinted towards the broadcast equipment. Security personnel, both human and alien, converged on her from all directions. With mere seconds to spare, she reached the control panel and slammed her laptop into the input port. "Stop this transmission immediately." Zaxthor's voice boomed, his previously melodious tones now harsh and grating. But it was too late. Evelyn's decrypted data began streaming across the global broadcast, replacing Zaxthor's carefully crafted speech with raw alien communication logs. The assembled delegates gasped as translation software struggled to keep up with the influx of information. Resource extraction quotas, military assessment, population control protocols. Fragments of alien plans flashed across screens worldwide. In the ensuing confusion, Evelyn seized the opportunity to address the stunned audience. People of Earth, we've been deceived. The Galactic Concordat isn't here to help us. They're planning an invasion. Security finally reached her, rough hands grabbing her arms. But the damage was done. The mask had slipped, and the world had glimpsed the truth behind Zaxthor's benevolent facade. For a moment, the assembly hall was eerily silent. Then, pandemonium broke loose. Delegates shouted accusations in dozens of languages, some demanding explanations, others calling for immediate action against the aliens. In the chaos, Evelyn locked eyes with her sister Sarah, seeing shock and betrayal etched across her face. Zaxthor's massive form loomed over the podium, his multiple eyes narrowing as he surveyed the scene. When he spoke again, gone was any pretense of warmth or friendship. "Foolish creatures," he hissed, mandibles clicking in irritation. "We offered you a chance to serve a greater purpose. Now you will learn the price of defiance." With a gesture, Zaxthor's honor guard activated energy shields, separating the alien delegation from the frenzied human crowd. Outside, the once peaceful alien ships began to shift, weapon ports opening along their gleaming hulls. "You have 6 of your Earth rotations to surrender unconditionally," Zaxthor announced, his voice dripping with disdain. "Failure to comply will result in the eradication of your major population centers. Choose wisely, humans." With that, Zaxthor and his entourage teleported away, leaving behind a stunned and terrified assembly. In the following hours, the world teetered on the brink of panic. Emergency sessions of the UN Security Council stretched long into the night. Military forces worldwide were placed on high alert, though most leaders recognized the futility of resistance against such advanced technology. Evelyn pulled up a schematic on her tablet. "We've identified a frequency that seems to interfere with their systems. It's not much, but it might scramble their coordination for a short time. The problem is, we'd need to broadcast it from multiple points around the globe simultaneously, and we'd only get one shot before they adapt." Morrison nodded gravely. "It's a start. General Vasquez, coordinate with international forces. I want every radio telescope, satellite dish, and broadcasting station ready to transmit on Dr. Roth's signal." As the room buzzed with activity, Evelyn felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned to find her sister Sarah, eyes red-rimmed from sleepless nights. "Evelyn, I'm sorry I didn't believe you," Sarah said softly. "I thought I was helping to build a better future. I never imagined." Evelyn squeezed her sister's hand. "You couldn't have known. None of us wanted to see the truth. But now, we have to focus on surviving this." Their reconciliation was cut short as alarms blared throughout the bunker. On the main screen, live feeds showed Zaxthor's ships moving into attack formation above major cities. "They're not waiting for the deadline," Evelyn realized with horror. "They're attacking now." Morrison's voice cut through the panic. "Dr. Roth, initiate your disruption plan immediately. Everyone else, get to your stations. This is not a drill. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance." As the bunker erupted into frenzied action, Evelyn rushed to the communication center. Her fingers flew over the controls, coordinating with teams around the world to synchronize the disruptive broadcast. Outside, the first waves of alien energy weapons descended upon Earth's cities. Buildings crumbled and panic filled the streets. But in secret bases and hidden bunkers across the globe, humanity prepared to launch its first, desperate counterattack. Evelyn took a deep breath, her hand hovering over the broadcast initiation switch. Everything hinged on this moment. She thought of all the lives at stake, of the future of human civilization, and of the long odds they faced. "For Earth," she whispered, and threw the switch. A high-pitched whine filled the air as every broadcasting device on the planet transmitted Evelyn's carefully calculated frequency. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, miraculously, the alien ships faltered. Their precise formations wavered, energy weapons sputtering and dying mid-blast. In the bunker, a cheer went up. They had bought themselves a chance, however slim. But as reports of the aliens' confusion poured in, Evelyn's elation was tempered by grim reality. This was only the beginning. The real battle for Earth's survival was just getting started. Humanity's hidden ace. As chaos reigned in the skies above Earth's major cities, Admiral Sarah Chen stood rigidly in the command center of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. Her eyes darted between multiple screens displaying the alien ship's erratic movements, a result of Dr. Roth's frequency disruption. "Ma'am," her aide called out, "we're receiving a priority transmission. Origin unknown." Chen frowned. In the midst of a global crisis, an unknown transmission spelled either hope or a new threat. "Put it through, encrypted channels only." The main screen flickered, revealing the face of a man Chen had never seen before. His eyes held a mixture of determination and barely concealed excitement. "Admiral Chen, I'm Dr. Elias Reeves. Authorization code: Olympus Rising. We need you at these coordinates immediately. Humanity's fate depends on it." Chen's eyes widened. Olympus Rising was a top-secret failsafe she'd been briefed on when assuming command, a last resort to be activated only in the event of overwhelming hostile forces. She had always assumed it was theoretical. "Understood, Dr. Reeves. I'm on my way." Within the hour, Chen's hypersonic transport touched down at what appeared to be an abandoned mining facility in the Australian outback. As she stepped out, the ground beneath her feet shuddered and began to descend. She found herself in a vast underground hangar that dwarfed anything she had seen in her naval career. Dr. Reeves greeted her as she disembarked. "Admiral, welcome to Project Olympus. For the past 3 decades, we've been preparing for this very scenario." Chen's jaw dropped as she took in the sight before her. A fleet of sleek warships, unlike anything in Earth's known arsenals, stood ready for deployment. Their hulls gleamed with an otherworldly sheen, covered in what appeared to be a mesh of interlocking scales. "How is this possible?" Chen breathed, her military training warring with sheer awe. Reeves guided her towards the largest vessel. After the Roswell incident in 1947, world governments realized we weren't alone in the universe. Project Olympus was conceived as a failsafe, a hidden ace if humanity ever faced an overwhelming extraterrestrial threat. As they walked, holographic displays sprang to life, showcasing the ship's capabilities. Reverse-engineered alien tech combined with the best of human innovation, Reeves explained. "Gravity drives, energy shields, plasma weaponry. We've been testing and refining these in secret for years." Chen's mind raced with the tactical possibilities. Does High Command know about this? Reeves shook his head. Only a select few. Compartmentalization was crucial to prevent leaks. Now, it's up to you to lead this fleet and turn the tide. "Me?" Chen asked, startled. "But surely there are others more qualified, with experience in this tech. You were chosen for your strategic brilliance and adaptability." "Admiral," Reeves cut in, "the fate of our species rests on this mission. We need the best." The weight of responsibility settled on Chen's shoulders. She squared them, years of command experience kicking in. "What's our timeline?" "Dr. Roth's disruption bought us a window, but the aliens are adapting quickly. We estimate 36 hours before their systems are fully back online. We need to launch within 24. Chen nodded sharply. "Then we'd better get started. Show me everything." The next few hours were a whirlwind of briefings and crash courses in alien tech. Chen's mind struggled to absorb the flood of information. New propulsion theories, weapons beyond her wildest imagination, and defense systems that seemed to defy physics. As she familiarized herself with the bridge of the flagship, christened the ESS Horizon, a young officer approached. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from Dr. Evelyn Roth. She's requesting to join the mission." Chen considered for a moment. Roth's expertise had already proved invaluable. "Bring her in. We'll need every advantage we can get." Soon, Evelyn Roth arrived, looking haggard but determined. Her eyes widened as she took in the advanced technology surrounding them. "This is incredible," she breathed. "All this time, right under our noses." "Dr. Roth," Chen greeted her. Your work on the alien communication systems will be crucial. I need you to find a way to infiltrate their network. Give us an edge in combat. Evelyn nodded, already moving towards a console. I'll need access to all the data you've collected on their tech, and a lot of coffee. As the hours ticked by, the hangar buzzed with frenetic energy. Crew members were assigned, final systems checks performed, and battle strategies formulated. Chen stood on the bridge of the horizon, watching as her hastily assembled fleet prepared for launch. Dr. Reeves approached, holding out a small metallic object. This is the key to Olympus, Admiral. Once you launch, this facility will seal itself. The knowledge here is too dangerous to risk falling into the wrong hands, alien or human. Chen took the device, feeling the weight of it in more ways than one. What about you, Doctor? Reeves smiled sadly. My place is here, making sure this technology remains secret until humanity is ready for it. Besides, someone needs to coordinate with ground forces. You focus on taking the fight to them up there. A klaxon sounded, signaling the final launch countdown. Chen turned to her bridge crew, a mix of seasoned veterans and wide-eyed Project Olympus scientists. This is the moment everything has been building towards. We carry the hopes and dreams of our entire species with us. Failure is not an option. She keyed the ship-wide comm. All hands, prepare for launch. May fortune favor the bold. The hangar's massive roof began to split open, revealing a starry sky marred by the distant flashes of ongoing alien attacks. One by one, the ships of humanity's secret fleet rose into the air, propelled by technology long hidden from the world. As the horizon ascended, Chen cast one last look at the Earth below. The beauty of her home planet, juxtaposed against the destruction being wrought upon it, steeled her resolve. Helm, set course for the alien fleet. Weapons, stand by. Comms, broadcast on all frequencies. Chen took a deep breath, knowing her next words would be heard by friend and foe alike across the globe. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet to all alien forces. Your unprovoked aggression against our world ends now. We gave you the chance for peace, which you squandered. Now, witness the true power of humanity united. She nodded to her weapons officer. Fire at will. The horizon's main cannon hummed to life, unleashing a blinding stream of plasma that lanced through space. It struck an alien destroyer, bypassing its shields completely and cleaving the massive ship in two. For a moment, silence reigned across all channels. Then the alien fleet's formation broke, scrambling to respond to this unexpected threat. In command centers and shelters across the globe, humans watched in awe as the tide of battle suddenly, improbably, began to turn. On the bridge of the horizon, Admiral Chen allowed herself a small, grim smile. The element of surprise was theirs, but the real test was yet to come. The fate of Earth would be decided in the next few hours, and she intended to make every second count. All ships engage at will. For Earth, David versus Goliath. The void of space erupted into a dazzling display of destruction as humanity's hidden fleet engaged the alien armada. Admiral Chen's ships, though vastly outnumbered, moved with a precision and lethality that caught the invaders off guard. Evasive maneuvers. Chen barked as a barrage of alien energy weapons streaked past the horizon. Concentrate fire on their flagship. If we can take out their command and control, we might stand a chance. The bridge buzzed with activity, crew members calling out sensor readings and damage reports. Dr. Evelyn Roth hunched over her console, fingers flying across holographic interfaces as she worked to penetrate the aliens' communication networks. Admiral, Roth called out, I'm detecting a pattern in their shield modulations. If we time our attacks just right, we might be able to punch through their defenses. Chen nodded sharply. Send the data to weapons control. All ships, coordinate your attacks on my mark. The fleet moved in perfect synchronization, years of simulated battles paying off in this crucible of real combat. Beams of superheated plasma lanced out, striking alien vessels at precisely calculated moments. Explosions blossomed in the darkness as ship after ship succumbed to the onslaught. But the alien fleet was vast, and for every ship destroyed, more moved to fill the gap. The initial surprise of humanity's advanced technology was wearing off, and the sheer numbers of the invading force began to tell. Hull breach on Deck 7. An officer called out as the horizon shuddered under enemy fire. Shields down to 60%. Chen gritted her teeth. They were inflicting damage, but at a cost. Status report on the rest of the fleet. The tactical officer's face was grim. The Artemis and Orion are reporting heavy damage. The Pegasus is gone, Mom. A moment of silence fell over the bridge, quickly broken by the cacophony of battle. Chen pushed down the surge of grief. There would be time to mourn later if they survived. Reroute power from non-essential systems to the shields, she ordered. And get me a direct line to Zaxthor's flagship. It's time we had a chat with the so-called Emperor. As the battle raged on, the communication officer worked feverishly to establish a connection. Finally, the main view screen flickered to life, revealing Zaxthor's insectoid features twisted in a mask of fury. You dare to challenge the might of the galactic Concordat, the alien Emperor hissed. Your primitive species will be eradicated for this insolence. Chen met his gaze steadily. We've already proven we're not as primitive as you thought, Zaxthor. Stand down your forces now, or face total destruction. The Emperor's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. Bold words from a species about to be extinct. Your pitiful fleet is already faltering. Surrender now, and perhaps I'll allow a few of you to live as slaves. Before Chen could retort, the ship rocked violently. Alarms blared as systems across the horizon began to fail. Direct hit to our primary power core. An engineer shouted. We're losing main propulsion. Chen's mind raced. They had dealt significant damage to the alien fleet, but the odds were still overwhelmingly against them. As she opened her mouth to issue new orders, the tactical display suddenly lit up with new contacts. Admiral, the sensor officer called out, disbelief evident in his voice. We're detecting multiple ships entering the combat zone. They're ours. Chen's eyes widened as she took in the data. Dozens of ships, a mix of retrofitted civilian vessels and hastily upgraded military craft, were pouring into the battle from all directions. On the communication channels, a chorus of voices rang out. This is the Chinese Space Force responding to Earth's distress call. Royal Navy reporting for duty. The United Kingdom stands with humanity. Russian aerospace forces ready to kick some alien ass. More and more ships joined the fray. India, Brazil, Japan, a united Europe, and countless others. In the face of extinction, humanity had come together as never before. Zaxthor's face contorted with rage. Impossible. Your world was divided. Weak. Chen allowed herself a fierce grin. You underestimated us, Zaxthor. Humanity doesn't bow to tyrants. Not from Earth. And not from the stars. With renewed vigor, the human fleet pressed its attack. What they lacked in advanced technology, they made up for in numbers and sheer determination. The tide of battle began to shift once more. But victory was far from assured. The alien ships, while caught off guard by the sudden reinforcements, were still technologically superior. The space around Earth became a graveyard of twisted metal and floating debris from both sides. On the horizon's bridge, Evelyn Roth suddenly let out a triumphant shout. I've done it. I'm in their systems. Chen rushed to her station. What have you found? Roth's eyes were alive with excitement and fear. Their entire fleet is connected to a central network. It's how they coordinate so efficiently. But it's also a weakness. If we can upload a virus to their flagship, we might be able to disrupt their entire force. Can you do it? Chen asked urgently. Roth nodded, but her expression was grim. Yes, but there's a catch. The virus needs to be delivered directly to their main computer core. Someone has to board that ship. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. It was a suicide mission, plain and simple. Chen straightened her uniform. "I'll go. Prepare a shuttle and—" "No," Roth cut her off. "You're needed here to coordinate the fleet. I'll go. I'm the only one who fully understands the virus and how to implement it." For a moment, Chen wanted to argue, but she knew Roth was right. "Very well, Doctor, but you're not going alone. I'm assigning a team of our best Marines to accompany you." As Roth prepared for her mission, the battle outside reached a fever pitch. The human fleet fought with desperate courage, but for every alien ship destroyed, another of their own was lost. "Admiral," the tactical officer called out, his voice strained. "The Artemis is gone. The Orion is barely holding together. We can't take much more of this." Chen nodded grimly. Everything now hinged on Roth's mission. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Concentrate all fire on the enemy flagship. We need to punch a hole in their defenses to get our boarding party through." The response was immediate. Every human ship that could still fight turned its weapons on Zaxthor's massive vessel. The space between the fleets lit up with an intensity that rivaled a small sun. In the Horizon's launch bay, Evelyn Roth strapped herself into a specially modified shuttle, a team of grim-faced Marines beside her. As the bay doors opened, revealing the chaos of battle outside, she took a deep breath. "For Earth," she whispered and hit the launch button. The shuttle shot out into the maelstrom, racing towards the alien flagship. The fate of humanity now rested in the hands of a scientist-turned-soldier and her small team of brave volunteers. As Chen watched the shuttle disappear into the fray, she silently prayed to whatever forces might be listening in the universe. The final gambit was in motion. In the next few moments, the future of Earth would be decided, one way or another, turning the tables. The shuttle carrying Dr. Evelyn Roth and her team of Marines weaved through the chaos of battle, narrowly avoiding debris and weapons fire. Inside, Roth clutched a data drive containing the virus, her knuckles white with tension. 30 seconds to contact," the pilot announced, his voice steady despite the stakes. Roth looked at the Marines, their faces set with grim determination. "Remember, we need to get to the central computer core. Once there, I'll need 3 minutes to upload the virus." "We'll get you there, Doc," the squad leader, Sergeant Maria Vasquez, assured her. "Just focus on your part." The shuttle shuddered as it pierced the weakened shields of Zaxthor's flagship. With a bone-jarring thud, they crashed into a docking bay. "Go, go, go," Vasquez shouted as the ramp lowered. They burst out, immediately met by alien security forces. The air filled with the sound of gunfire and energy weapons. Roth ducked behind a console, her heart pounding. "This way," she shouted, consulting a holographic map of the ship's layout. The Marines formed a protective circle around her as they fought their way deeper into the alien vessel. Back on the horizon, Admiral Chen watched the battle with growing desperation. The human fleet was taking heavy losses. "Admiral," her tactical officer called out, "we can't hold them much longer." Chen gripped the arms of her command chair. "We have to. Divert all non-essential power to weapons and shields. We hold the line until Dr. Roth completes her mission." On the alien flagship, Roth and her team battled through corridors, the Marines' training proving invaluable against the superior alien technology. But their progress was costly. One by one, the Marines fell, buying time with their lives. As they approached the computer core, only Sergeant Vasquez remained with Roth. They could hear the heavy footsteps of alien reinforcements closing in. "I'll hold them off," Vasquez said, checking her weapon. "You get in there and end this." Roth wanted to argue, but there was no time. With a nod of gratitude, she slipped into the core room as Vasquez took up a defensive position. The computer core was a massive structure, pulsing with alien energy. Roth rushed to a terminal, her fingers flying over the unfamiliar interface. The sounds of battle echoed from outside as she worked to upload the virus. Suddenly, a harsh voice cut through the room. "I think not. Human. Roth spun to see Emperor Zaxthor himself, flanked by guards. His multiple eyes gleamed with malice. "Your pathetic resistance ends now," he hissed, raising a weapon. But before he could fire, the room shook violently. In the confusion, Roth dove for cover, still clutching the data drive. Admiral Chen's voice crackled over Roth's comlink. "Doctor, we've managed to breach their hull near your location. Whatever you're going to do it now." Roth scrambled back to the terminal as chaos erupted around her. Zaxthor and his guards were distracted by the sudden breach, buying her precious seconds. With trembling hands, she inserted the drive and initiated the upload. A progress bar appeared on the screen, moving agonizingly slowly. "No," Zaxthor roared, realizing what was happening. He lunged for Roth, his clawed hand reaching for her throat. Roth ducked, narrowly avoiding his grasp. She caught sight of Sergeant Vasquez stumbling into the room, bloodied but still fighting. "Vasquez," Roth shouted, pointing at the Emperor. The Marine didn't hesitate. She threw herself at Zaxthor, grappling with the much larger alien. They crashed into a bank of computers, sparks flying. Roth turned back to the terminal. 85%, 90%, 95%. An energy blast sizzled past her head. One of Zaxthor's guards had broken free from the melee. Roth dove to the side as the alien took aim again. 100%. Upload complete. Roth yelled into her comlink. "Chen, it's done." For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, the lights in the core room flickered. The humming of alien technology faltered and died. Across the battlefield, alien ships suddenly lost power. Their weapons went dark, shields failed, and communication systems dissolved into static. On the horizon's bridge, Chen watched in awe as the mighty alien armada was reduced to drifting metal in seconds. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen," she broadcast. "The enemy fleet is disabled. Commence boarding operations. Take prisoners where you can, but show no mercy to those who resist." A cheer went up across the human fleet. Ships that moments ago had been on the brink of destruction now moved to surround their helpless opponents. Back in the computer core, Roth watched as confusion spread across Zaxthor's alien features. The Emperor's guards stood frozen, their advanced weapons now useless. Sergeant Vasquez, battered but alive, staggered to her feet, training her weapon on Zaxthor. "It's over, Bug Boy," she growled. Zaxthor's mandibles clicked in fury. "Impossible. We are the Galactic Concordat. We have conquered 1,000 worlds." "And you just lost to your 1,001st, Roth said, allowing herself a grim smile. "Humanity doesn't bow to bullies, no matter where they're from." The next few hours were a blur of activity. Human forces secured the alien flagship and key vessels throughout the fleet. Zaxthor and his high command were taken into custody to face justice for their unprovoked attack on Earth. As the adrenaline of battle faded, the true cost became clear. The space around Earth was littered with debris from both human and alien ships. The planet below bore scars from the initial attack, great cities reduced to rubble. But amid the destruction, there was hope. Humanity had faced its greatest threat and emerged victorious, not through the actions of a single hero, but through the combined efforts of an entire species. On the Horizon's observation deck, Admiral Chen stood with Dr. Roth, looking out at the aftermath of the battle. "We did it," Roth said softly, still hardly believing it herself. Chen nodded, her expression a mix of pride and sorrow. "At a great cost. But yes, we did. And now the real work begins." Roth looked at her quizzically. "Rebuilding," Chen explained. "Not just our cities, but our entire understanding of our place in the universe. We're not alone, and we're not defenseless. The question is, what do we do with that knowledge?" As if in answer, a transmission came through from Earth. President Morrison's face appeared on a nearby screen, addressing not just the fleet, but the entire world. My fellow citizens of Earth, she began, her voice filled with emotion. Today, we have witnessed both the darkest and brightest moments in human history. We faced annihilation and instead found unity. We were attacked by those who saw us as weak and proved that humanity's strength lies not in advanced technology, but in our indomitable spirit. She paused, letting her words sink in. As we begin the long process of recovery, let us remember this. We are no longer divided by nations or ideologies. We are Earth, united. And together, we will forge a new future among the stars. As the transmission ended, Chen and Raph shared a look of determination. The battle was over, but humanity's journey was just beginning. With the knowledge and technology gained from this conflict and the newfound unity of their species, the possibilities were endless. Earth had taken its first, tumultuous steps onto the galactic stage. And despite the challenges ahead, one thing was certain. Humanity was ready to face whatever the universe had in store.